Greetings, good people. Welcome to a book reading of Tell Me Again, Why These Mostly Black Players Are Not in the Hall of Fame. Is It Racial? My name is Sheldon Curry. I'm the author of the book, a book I finished in August 2021. And I'm hoping that my excerpts will give you a good feel for what the book is. It's a book that juxtaposes race, bias in the Baseball Hall of Fame process. It's centered around me profiling 13 deserving black players who should have been in the Hall of Fame that played primarily between 1950 and 1980. And I also profiled 15 Negro League players, and there was a dozen or so other topics that I dealt with. And one of the themes in the book was to ensure that people know that I believe that the Baseball Hall of Fame process, though not life and death, is a microcosm of American society, because when they fail to properly honor black folks, it's easier to demonize us and do the things that we've seen, unfortunately, throughout our history here. Before I get into the excerpts, the hard copy book is 1,831 pages. Then the book is available on Amazon.com in their e-reader Kindle library, so you can purchase it there for $29.99. You can also look at a sample. I will let you know at the end of the program about how to purchase limited copies of the hardcover book. So without further ado, I want to get started. And in the excerpts, I'm going to try to give a good cross-section of what the book will be about. This book is a lot about not only race and process and stats and comparative analysis, but it's so much more. And of course, I would be here all day if I tried to do excerpts from the entire book. But I'm hopefully to give you a good cross-section of what the book is about and kind of titillate you a little bit to want to hear more. And here we go. Now, one of the things that I do here is I talk about the inconsistency and the inaccuracies of people who cover the game. And the reason why I talk about that is because they are influencers. I know that's a word that's used a lot now in social media circles. And a lot of them actually vote for the Hall of Fame or sit on screening committees, which I just talked about. And so I highlight throughout the book some of the things that just don't make sense. And I try to focus actually on well-known folk, because if the well-known folks do it, everybody just considers it okay. So here's one. It's from page 329 in the chapter 33. The chapter is entitled Inconsistent, Inaccurate, Nonsensical Arguments, Comments, and Opinions of Writers That Hinder the Process. So I make it very clear when you read this chapter what I'm going to be talking about. I start off by saying Verducci II, I couldn't help myself. Backdrop, Tom Verducci is a well-renowned writer and broadcaster, or a baseball analyst. And I'd already took him to task earlier than this, and then I decided to add another one. So that's why it says Verducci II, Roman numeral 2. Notwithstanding my previous comments, I could not help but be amused, or is it confused or dumbstruck, about some comments he made on July 19, 2016 during a discussion he and others had regarding the relatively small number of hitters swinging at 3-0 pitches. After John Smoltz made his usual astute comments on the matter, Smoltz is one of the best analysts in the game, Verducci then joined in and said the following, and it's quote verbatim. How about Matt Carpenter? In his career, he is a great hitter. Now, he hits 30 home runs, right? Almost 40 home runs. 149 3-0 counts, and he's never swung at any of them. He should let it fire once or twice before he can hit it out. Now, before I continue with the excerpt, what they're talking about is a player that never swings at a 3-0 count, which is, a lot of times the pitcher grooves it. And so what Verducci is saying is that this guy is a great hitter, that he hits 30 home runs, and some years he almost hits 40 home runs. This is what he said verbatim. That's why I read it to you. Okay, back to the excerpt. This is me now. Stating that Carpenter never swung at 3-0 pitches or that occasionally he should take a whack wasn't the astounding portion of Verducci's comments. And I won't quibble with anyone saying that Carpenter is a fine player because he has been that. I am not sure I would apply the tag of being a great hitter, but I could even let that slide. The issue is the cavalier way in which he threw out Carpenter's home run totals that simply amazed me, particularly for someone so entrenched in the game and so well regarded as Verducci. Effectively, he seemed to imply that Carpenter consistently hit 30 home runs a year. Okay, through July 18, 2016, the day before these comments were made, Matt Carpenter had hit a grand total of 67 home runs in the big leagues and 2,391 at-bats and 2,801 plate appearances. In Carpenter's first 4 full seasons, he hit 6 home runs, 11, 8, and 28. In approximately half a season's worth of games and at-bats in 2016, the year these comments were made, he had hit 14. My point is, though he was trending up in homers in 2015 and the first half of 2016, he had yet to hit 30 home runs, let alone the almost 40 Verducci so carelessly mentioned. Postscript. Carpenter finished 2016 with 21 homers and 473 at-bats, and then he added 23 home runs and 497 at-bats in 2017. Not bad, but not 30. Finally, in 2018, 2 years after this remark was made, Carpenter surpassed the 30 homer mark. He hit 36 home runs. In 2019, he hit 15 home runs. As I say repeatedly, this goes on far too much from those who influence the narratives for players and who also have Hall of Fame votes. Just crazy. So I think you get an idea of just making up stuff. Just making it, and these are the people who vote.